Do you demand the best, no matter the cost? A reasonable gamer would probably settle for something like an RTX 3070 at MSRP, but you are not a reasonable gamer. You belong to the 1% of PC enthusiasts who can spend over $10,000 on a system. That's more than some people spend on a car, but we're talking about a PC. If you can spend that much money on a PC, first of all, what job do you do? Because I want it. But second of all, that's crazy. But I've got the system for you here. So you can even see on screen already some of the parts choices that I have made. But I guess we'll just get right into it. I mean, the market is so volatile, but the people that this shortage doesn't affect are the people that can spend endless amounts of money because they'll pay scalper prices, right? They don't care. So it's pretty crazy. But so we're gonna start with the Ryzen 9 5950X from AMD. It is a $750 MSRP part, but you will now find it for about $1,100 on the secondhand market. It's a 16-core, 32-thread processor, which is absolutely crazy. Boost clock of 4.9 gigahertz, as you can see. Highest boost clock of any AMD processor ever, I believe, including server and Threadripper, because I think those clock speeds are actually slightly lower than the gaming ones. It's just a beast. It doesn't come included with a cooler because they know that, an included stock cooler is not going to handle it, so they just did not bother. Whereas I believe last gen, like the 3950X and the 3900X did, whereas now anything over the 5600X does not come with a stock cooler. But yeah, 16 cores, 32 threads, that is absurd. It's not quite a Threadripper, and the reason I didn't go Threadripper is because this is more for like the enthusiast PC gamer, more consumerist here. We're talking consumer products, and that's what this is. So it's the highest tier consumer CPU that there is at the moment, and it is an absolute beast. For the cooler, we have multiple options, but I've chosen to recommend the Corsair iQOO H150i Elite Capellix, and that is because it is amazing. I mean, you can see here $200 is its price. These pictures don't show it. This picture doesn't, but this does. The fans included are RGB. However, we will be swapping those out, as we'll get to later. So that's the cooler. It's pretty sick. However, ideally at this extremely high budget, you would go with custom liquid cooling. If you're new to custom liquid cooling, maybe get like a Corsair Hydro X kit. Although I don't think they make the kits in white, so you'd have to buy the stuff separately. But get it in white, and yeah, get Corsair Hydro X custom liquid cooling components in white. That would be your best bet. That would give you even more overclocking headroom than this beast of a cooler. And yeah, so the H150i Elite Capellix has 3 RGB fans and an RGB water block. It's just really awesome. It'll cost you $200. The Hydro X kits go for north of $400. So yeah, but I mean, your CPU will run cool on both. This is really one of the best AIOs out there. 360 mil cooler, of course. Technically, there are 420s, but I don't know if those can fit in our case today. And also, those are pretty niche as well. So that's that. That is the H150i Elite Capellix. Or ideally, you'd go with the Hydro X custom liquid cooling kit. So yeah. For the motherboard, the MSI Meg X570 Godlike. This is the board here. It's absurd. So this board, you can see it's got some nice RGB here, over here. It's got a fan, like a lot of the X570 boards have a chipset fan. Pretty annoying, but is this a screen? I'm actually not 100% sure, but anyways. Massive VRM heatsink, which is never necessary. When you have the high-end components, the PCB, the high-end capacitors and stuff, and the good power delivery system that this board has, you actually don't need a VRM heatsink. It's just for looks. But yeah, I mean, look at all those M.2 shields and reinforced armor around the RAM slots. I mean, everything about this board is absolutely sick. I believe it also has the highest number of power stages of any board, like consumer board, period. Very nice IOs as well. Actually, wait, no, never mind. I said that without looking at it. That's actually not a ton of USB ports. Definitely fast. And I think you've got like 10 gigabit. Oh no, only 2.5 gigabit. Okay. But I mean, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Flash BIOS, clear CMOS. I don't know why you need both, but anyways. So that's that. It's a pretty sick board. Maybe get a USB hub, because that's actually surprisingly not a lot of USB ports on a motherboard of this caliber. But it's a $700 MSRP board. It's EATX, so it's even bigger than ATX. I believe EATX, the technical name for that form factor, is like SSI EEB or something like that. I'm sure I got some of those letters wrong, but Gamers Nexus, credit to Gamers Nexus. I learned that in a Gamers Nexus video, as you do when you're in the PC community. So this motherboard has 16 plus 3, that's the power delivery, which means 16 stages, and then 3, what is it? Is it phase doublers? I don't know. I don't remember, boys. I don't remember. It's something else. I saw a video from Linus about how motherboards work, and I forgot most of it. So anyways, but if you add the 16 and the 3, you get 19, which is the highest number of any motherboard. Not that that really matters. The number that really matters is the 16, not the plus 3. That's what I did take away from the Linus video, despite not really remembering how motherboards actually work. But this board is not really in stock many places anymore, so it has a stunning black design, as you can see. So yeah, like I said, MSRP of $700, but now it can really only be found for like $1,000 on websites, so that's unfortunate, but you have an unlimited budget anyways, so nobody cares. The G.Skill Trident Z Neo series of RAM. It's world-renowned for good performance, and I think it's like has some weird incompatibility issues with some motherboards. You might want to check that out before you buy it. Some of the G.Skill RAM, but anyways, I digress. So the Trident Z Neo 32 gig kit, 4 8 gig sticks, DDR4 3800 speed memory, cast latency 14. That's extremely fast. 3800 speed is just about as fast as you can run RAM on Ryzen with the 1-to-1 ratio with the Infinity Fabric, because it really doesn't go much higher than that. Technically, I think 4000 is like the hypothetical limit when you're running in that ratio, and if you go above that, the timings increase, so they get worse. So this is about as good as you can get. 4 times 8 gigs, again, 3800 CL14. It's got nice RGB, as the Trident Z Neo RAM does. You can see it there. It's a nice design. And yeah, I mean, it's not like massive heat spreaders like some other RAM too, so I actually don't think it's like massive. Not that that matters though, because we're not going with a tower cooler. We're going with an AIO or custom liquid cooling, preferably. So it's absolutely insane. Even after DDR5 comes out, like this is not going to become obsolete right away, I bet. The speeds are so fast. It'll probably be like in line with DDR5 performance or pretty close. It's $470, which is absurd for RAM. Technically, yeah, we could go like 64 gigs. We could get a bunch of 16 gig sticks, but I mean, you really don't need that. Even if you're editing movies, like you could probably get away with 32 gigs, but I mean, 64 would be ideal. But remember, this is like a gaming build, not like a movie editing build. Like if I was going with like a movie editing build, which I might do workstation build guides, you know, I probably will. I would go with Threadripper and not Ryzen, but anyways, I mean, Threadripper is a line of Ryzen CPUs, but anyways, I digress. So next, you need a big amount of storage. All right, if you are serious about gaming and you play a lot of games and you have some other programs too, maybe you probably work an important job. I mean, if you got enough money to spend this, so you're gonna need a lot of storage. So that is where the Corsair MP600 Core 4TB NVMe PCIe Gen 4 SSD comes in. So X570 chipset has full PCIe Gen 4 support, and that is where this monster comes in. So as you can see, it has like an integrated heatsink, which is really nice. The motherboard has heatsink, so that doesn't really matter in this case, but still nice, I guess. Might actually kind of almost be a downside, just because like the motherboard's integrated heat sinks look so cool. The M.2 Shield Frozer, whatever they're called. This might even be like a tier above that. I don't even know. I think they're all called M.2 Shield Frozer. Not 100% though. Not 100% sure on that. But they look pretty sick. So that irregularity caused by that SSD Kind of unfortunate, but probably won't matter because the GPUs are so big, everything else will take attention away from it. This is a white themed build, as you guys can probably tell, but anyways. So this SSD can do read speeds up to 4,950 megabits per second. Megabits, right? Yeah, megabits, not megabytes. Wait, is it megabytes? Megabits? I don't know. And writes up to 3,800. So pretty absurd. And it's all in a super compact form factor. Of course, M.2 just goes right into the M.2 slot, which is very nice. You don't need to mess around with bulky hard drives anymore that are slow. You just don't need to, because SSDs come in such large capacities, and this is a great example of that. Yeah, absurd. It's an absurd $645 price point. I get that's insane for storage. Like, my storage was like $85 for my SSD, and I think I got it for like 80 actually, but it's supposed to be 85, and like 55 for my hard drive. Anyways, a bit more reasonable. Speaking of reasonable, these are not reasonable at all. I know SLI is a joke, but again, you have an unlimited budget, so you don't care if SLI is a joke, right? You don't care. And that is why I will be recommending the 3090 Strix White OC. Of course, got to be overclocked. It doesn't matter. I mean, this card is a supreme overclocker on air. So the MSRP of each of these cards is $2,300. You'll be getting two of them, obviously. But due to the current supply/demand issues with graphics cards, these are going for $4,000 on eBay. So, but that's just a drop in the bucket. I mean, if you have a never-ending wallet, I mean, obviously. So the 3090 series of graphics cards packs a real punch, as it is the fastest consumer graphics card of all time. Additionally, Strix video cards are some of the best for overclocking on air. Preferably, you would water cool your graphics card. If you're going to do custom water cooling on the CPU, might as well do it for the graphics card as well. If you get something like the 3090 Founders Edition, or 2 for SLI, and you grab an EK water block and some extra tubing on top of the Hydro X tubing for the CPU, boom, you would have even more overclocking power, which is pretty crazy. If you'd have to disassemble your graphics card to do that. So if you don't like the idea of doing it yourself, you could also get an AIO cooled GPU like the EVGA 3090 FTW3 Ultra Hybrid, and you'd have to swap the fans out to get it white and stuff like that. But the radiator wouldn't be white. So like, if you really want this to be ideal, you'd get the GPU water block as well. Would you get a separate radiator to cool the GPU? I'm not 100% sure. I think you get a separate 360mm radiator as well, not just extra tubing, but I'll look into that, and also I'm putting it on screen here. Anyways, so yeah, it's a white theme build. You can see the 3090 here. I'm gonna click on it right now. There it is. I mean, look at that. That's an absolute beauty. It's so amazing looking. It's so clean. And two of those in a system is very sick. Of course, you do need a good case to house these GPUs, and so we will be going with the herd mentality choice of the Lianli PC011 Dynamic case right here. So this is the case. It's actually silver here. There was a snow edition of the 011 Dynamic Mini, but that's the Mini, and we're not going Mini for this build, so it's actually a silver here, but it is like white in general. It's just silver here, but yeah, anyways, kind of annoying, but that is okay. It's the 5th most popular case on PC Part Picker. It's an ATX full tower chassis. It's an absolute beauty. I mean, look at that. Very good for showing off your parts. And it actually does have good thermals if configured properly. Sometimes stock of this case can be hard to come by, so make sure you check all the major retailers for stock. You know, Amazon, B&H, Newegg, Best Buy, Autorama, CDW, Memory Express in some places, etc., etc. You know, check all over the place, right? Micro Center, of course. If there is no stock, you may have to turn to eBay to spend some extra money. It's a pretty large case. It'll fit whatever you need it to. The best part is it's actually only $160, which is rather unexpected for a build of this caliber. Seriously, though, despite its modest price, it is probably the best case out there in terms of functionality and performance, in my opinion, and looks, of course. It may not be as flashy as something like the Cougar Conquer 2, but it's more functional. And that is why I like it. So it's a pretty sick case. I believe there's a mid-tower version as well. I don't know. I saw someone that said like ATX mid-tower. That was an 011 dynamic. Let's look that up real quick. 011 dynamic mid-tower. The Razor, is that the Razor version? I think that's the Razor version. Let's look on Amazon here. Amazon. Mid-tower. Huh. So there might be different, like, versions. I guess this is mid-tower? I don't know. But this is a full tower, right? Wait, 011 dynamic full tower. Is this the XL? Oh, wait, what the hell just happened? Whatever. XL. Oh, okay, I suppose I'm recommending the XL. I don't know why it says, it doesn't say XL, but this is the XL case. Actually, can it support, Lianli 011 dynamic, it can support EATX, right? I'm pretty sure. Wait, what the, get out of here. 011 dynamic, yeah, support for EATX. Medium case, it says, too. Right, this is mid-tower, right? Mid-tower, question mark. Specs, there's gotta be specs somewhere. Specs, okay. Tower, dual chamber, structure tower chassis. Oh my god, what is the form factor? Holy. I am very confused. I'm pretty sure that this is I don't know. Get the mid-tower. It can support EATX. Get the mid-tower, not the full tower. This is the full tower. This is the wrong case. Next, we have the... Oh, yeah, okay. The Be Quiet Dark Power Pro 12, 1500 watt, 80 plus titanium, ATX, fully modular power supply. That is a mouthful. So Be Quiet PSUs are generally very good quality, and especially this one, of course. 80 plus titanium is the highest efficiency rating a power supply can get. And 1500 watts is a massive capacity that will allow for some overclocking headroom, hopefully. The 3090s, they have some like power wattage spikes at sometimes and stuff, but so you can get it for $450 right now. I've heard the MSRP is $520, but it can now be found for $450, so I'm just saying that that's the MSRP. So when I say the MSRP total price of the system later, I'll be going off $450. You'll have to shell out a small fortune, sure, but it's well worth it. Oh wait, just kidding, it is not worth it. Nothing in this build is worth it, but you can tell yourself that it is to maintain your dignity and keep your significant other from getting mad at you for spending that much money on a PC. It's fully modular, so it's great for cable management as well. Finally, case fans. Some of the best out there are the Lianli Unifan SL123 pack of 120mm fans. They are RGB, only on the outside here, as you can see, but the main feature of these fans, well, first of all, they're white, but second of all, well, you can get them in black too, but we're gonna do the white version. So, but also they're daisy chainable, so you connect them together and you only need to power all three fans with one cable. That makes it great for cable management. That is the SL120, the Unifan from Lianli. It's awesome. It's a fluid dynamic bearing static pressure fan, so it's better for radiators and heat sinks, but it'll work as well for, it'll work also though for, you know, general case ventilation. They're pretty good fans. They're good performance on the charts as well. Performance, that's a TS on the end, not a CE. So like, I know my grammar, boys. I think that was correct grammar. Anyways, I am in high school, so, you know, ideally I would know my grammar. MSRP is $140 for this 3-pack. You can find them on sale sometimes, including right now on Amazon for $130. So they're very compelling for high-end buyers. Stock can also be hard to come by, but you can probably snag some of them if you look hard enough on a lot of retailers. They currently are in stock on Amazon US. So these fans have adjustable RGB. They're daisy chainable. I already said that. Pretty sick. You'll want to buy 3 of the 3 packs, making 9 fans total, so you can fully populate the 011 Dynamic, which has 9 spaces for 120 millimeter fans. You've got 3 on the bottom, 3 right here, and 3 up top. Not sure about the back. I'll put that on screen now here too. If whatever I just put on screen said that they can support one in the back as well, that would mean 10 fans. You can just get 1 extra SL120 on the side. Like you're ordering food. I'll have 1 SL120 on the side. Anyways, they're pretty sick. They're just amazing. They're just amazing fans, that's it. So that is it for the entire build as well. Obviously, because this is a high-end build, you'll want to buy the full $200 retail version of Windows 10 Pro. Yeah, no, but seriously, you probably will. I mean, you have unlimited budget, you might as well. With that retail Windows 10 from buying directly from Windows, the Pro version, $200, you get like extra security features with the Pro. With the retail version, you get full Windows customer support and full motherboard transferability a few times. Anyways, I would recommend SCD key for more budget builds, but anyways, I digress. So that's the pinnacle of baller PC builds. It'll have you crying straight to the bank, but you will be able to brag to your friends. So that is a big plus and probably the reason you're buying this build. I won't be doing any peripheral recommendations in this guide, but anyone building the system would only demand the best peripherals, you know, G Pro X, Superlight, etc., etc. The total cost of this build, based on the MSRPs of the parts, with the AIO and the Strix GPUs, not the custom water cooling, is $8,395. If you take into account what these parts are actually selling for, like the GPUs, the motherboard, and stuff like that, the total comes out to a whopping $12,445 for this system. If you are crazy enough to build this, tweet it at me at FTW Tech, as I'd love to see how it turns out. So that will be it for the video. Oh, by the way, in terms of price, if you were to go the custom water cooling route, you'd probably just add maybe $600 onto that total. Obviously, you'd be spending maybe $450 on the CPU water cooling. Then you'd have to get some extra tubing for the GPUs, possibly a radiator as well. Not 100% sure. I put that on screen earlier, though. I'll put it on screen here again. And yeah, so that's the build. It's pretty absurd. Obviously, it says the total is only this, but that's because a bunch of these say, like, no prices available, which is not true, that there's no prices available. I don't know why it says that. I mean, these fans are in stock on Amazon, so I don't know why it says this. This power supply is in stock, I believe, on, like, B&H or something. Maybe not. It might be out of stock on B&H right now. I mean, any like titanium or platinum, like 1500, 1600 watt power supply will be just fine. So you could substitute this out if you have to. These say no prices available because they're genuinely not in stock anywhere. I mean, on Amazon, they're marked up for probably like $4,000, on eBay $4,000. I don't know why it doesn't say the marked up scalper Amazon prices. Maybe because they're like the see all buying options thing and they're not shipped and sold by Amazon or by Asus, the company who makes them, or anything. But we just appreciate how good this looks. Like, I'm just coming back to this every time. These are so beautiful. Oh my god, look at that, dude. Look at that, look at that, look at that. I'm beside myself, dude. This graphics card is so sick. But yeah, that's the build for today, folks. I hope you enjoyed the video. That was Isaiah with FTW Tech. And yeah, see you guys.